I have a president's report, and I am the president. So my job here is not to tell you everything that's happening, not to go through every program. I want to invite you to look in your own bag that you'll get tonight, which is going to be basically all those things. Preeminently is our campaign plan. But you know, when I look out here tonight, I think it cannot be true. I don't think it's possible that Truman was right, that if you need a friend in D.C., you have to get a dog. Because I know almost every single one of you, and what a blessing in my life and the lives of our children that I never would have expected. Because, you know, D.C. does have a pretty bad name. You don't hear a whole lot of people saying, I want to be the person who eradicates misery among human beings in the world. And so I am going to Washington, D.C., and I'm going to get involved in electoral and legislative politics, and I'm going to spend a lot of time on Capitol Hill. You don't really hear that very much. You don't hear it. Instead, you hear sort of the echoes of Mark Twain, who said in error, Marsha Blackburn, that he said, so say you're a member of Congress and say you're an idiot. But I repeat myself. Okay. This vocation, which it is, has a bad name because people have not lived the vocation well at times. But it is a beautiful vocation, and it's a calling. Everyone in this room, especially the stars that we have helped elect, and that perhaps we didn't have anything to do with their election, but who are really advocating for life, knows our political system's capacity, what we are capable of as a nation, and that this system that was conceived by the very founders of our nation knew that it would be an important tool. And a tool is exactly what it is. I mean, this process that we live in, that we read about, that is the subject of scandal and interest and all that every day, I mean, this process can be used for self-dealing ends, it can be used for good ends. But what it is the best system that we know. It's a system that has stood the test of time. It's what we have. But it's not an end in itself. It does not have a heart and a mind and a will and a conscience. It's a system. The heart and mind and conscience that's where we come in. That's where everybody here, that's where we provide content to what this beautiful system of government is. That's when it becomes a vocation. Look, and that's when we see it as an eminently worthy call and a beautiful vocation, worthy of the Sisters of Life. And I know I may be exaggerating, but I actually really mean it. It's a call. And we say every day to candidates that we're interviewing, if it's not a call, don't do it, because you'll be ground up and it'll be very difficult and you'll hate it and your family will suffer. So make sure this is a call. The suffrage and the abolition and the child labor movements use the tools that this democracy offers. This process. They used it to eliminate human misery, relieve suffering, and restore justice in the law. The system we have, and that very system that they did miraculous, beautiful things that we get to tell stories about every day, is the same system that we have right now. We have all the power. We think that we don't. We explain it away. We say the media is too hefty. We complain about their coverage. We talk about scandal. We talk about the difficulties. But in truth, we have all the power. We've been given it. And our lack of involvement would be the only way that we would not move to a place of relieving human misery and suffering when it comes to this movement. The brothers and sisters, the 4,000 children that are dying every day, the brothers and sisters of the other suffering brothers and sisters that we have saved through our country's founding, through the time of that founding, they're all the same. They're waiting for us, and they've been waiting a very long time. And because we know that we can do something about this, we must. It's 4,000 children a day. It's a tool. You could say that the Susan B. Anthony list Most of the people in this room, frankly, almost every table that I look at, I know. People who could say they are expert practitioners who can wield this tool of government very well. You can do an excellent job. And to say that, you would be very right. We would be very right. And I think it would be true of the Susan B. Anthony list. And I'll say it in all humility. I know what I can do, and I know what I can't do. And I cannot do this alone. The people who, in the Susan B. Anthony list team, who are all scattered throughout this room, have done something beautiful. They've done something beautiful for the human being. They have taken the moral argument that has been made over and over again very beautifully and articulately in a way that touches the soul. They have leveraged it in elections, and then we have leveraged those elections into legislation to build leadership that has created a watershed moment for 2014. And I'm looking at Charmaine Yost right now, and we talk about this all the time. It's true. We are at a moment like no other. We're paying attention all the time. But we are at an inflection point. We're at a moment. I don't know the words to say it. All I know is that we are at a season of saving lives.